right, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
And this is Conversations with the Crawleys. We have conversations, and we're the Crawleys. Get how that works? All right. So what we do on this channel, we do have conversations as the Crawleys about favorite shows we're watching, and this one in particular is about The Ultimatum.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing the last 3 episodes, so it's at 7, 8, 9, and then the reunion.
Mm-hmm.
So this is content that you enjoy. You know what to do by now. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, request notifications.
And share.
We'll see you in the comments. Consider becoming a member, checking out the merch store, and checking out other videos that we've got. All right?
Check them out. Check them out.
Check them out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. All right. Back on the scene. I know that's not the right lyrics, but anyway. All right. I think in music. Y'all know this by now. I think in music. All right. So we are now at the stage where they're doing the changeover.
Mm-hmm.
Life is about to come back from fantasy to reality.
Right. To hall pass to back in class.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Hall pass has been revoked.
Hall pass has been revoked.
So they're all sitting at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick and Vanessa, that's her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I couldn't remember it last time. But Nick and Vanessa are starting, okay, so what'd you learn?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you figure out?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? Yeah. So a couple of things. Zaina talks about how things had shifted with Scotty after guys' night. She was like, things were going good. He could have been the next one.
Until
guys' night.
He came back blazing with guns, trying to accuse me of stuff. So we had to fight it out since he couldn't fight it out with the guys.
Several times. Scotty then retorted and said, well, Zaina inserted pettiness into the conversation or into the relationship.
Is he down on both sides?
Okay. But he does say that she helped him evolve.
Yes. I think they both did.
They
Just to
did.
be honest.
Yes.
I think they were really digging in and trying to figure out what was going on as far as in their own relationship so that they could apply what they found out.
Yeah. So other things that were happening at the table.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I know.
Excuse me.
Make sure you ain't got COVID Ebola or something.
COVID Ebola. Wow.
Yeah, so y'all stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bird flu is causing egg prices to go up, and
There's a lot.
we've evacuated from the World Health Organization, so stay safe.
Stay safe.
For reals. All right, but anyway, back to the message at hand. Basically,
30-second news.
hey, listen,
review.
you get it all. This is Conversations with the Crawleys.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it. But going around the table, Nick is, I was so upset and I wasn't my best self, and especially finding out they kissed. And Zaina was like, what?
Right.
Yeah, oh, they kissed? Talking about JR and Sandy. Oh, lips pressed against each other? I ain't know that. Yeah,
And I think this is when we found out, because that's when JR tries to charm in, that he said he wouldn't have done the ultimatum unless there was no boundaries.
Yes.
Because in our previous episode, we talked about that. Was like, no one's talking about boundaries here. Yep. Now we know why.
Yes.
Because JR told her, I'm not coming if there's boundaries.
Unless I get a hall pass, basically, which we'll find out at the reunion. Because Sandy said that Nick was drowning her, and she was just telling him that she missed him. Mm-hmm. Nick was like, no, it was a little more than that, baby girl.
So you were communicating too as well.
Communicating a little more than just, I miss you. Now, as they were going through, Caleb was like, hey, Nick came in apologizing, but JR was the one that kept giving jabs. As if, again, and the thing that I felt in this was, if I analyze each of the people that were part of this love square, triangle, pentagram, whatever it was, I think Sandy was manipulative. I think JR was delusional.
Okay, I'm listening.
I say it's delusional because you knew what this was. And he was like, oh, my wife, and getting upset at Nick for being concerned about the person that he came with and who was probably planning to leave with.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick was clingy. Nick was
Yes, he
probably the
was.
epitome of not realizing what you had until it's
until
gone.
it's too late.
Zaina was kind of like clueless, not clueless, but she was.
I think she was allowing JR to have the experience.
Gotcha. I can agree.
And so she was more concerned about what she could get out of it with her new relationship with Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
So she tried to stay out of JR's way. You know, she wasn't like texting and everything that Scotty was like trying to, like, are you in the bathroom and you're communicating? Obviously at the table, if Scotty was even paying attention, she didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, Scotty sometimes comes off as like he's like not always there. He's not always present.
Well, and also he's very accusatory.
Yes.
So I would have pointed out to Scotty, like, see, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know they kissed.
Yeah.
So you're accusing me again. This whole time you've been accusing me of contacting JR when I'm not.
Right. Now the other couples at the table, I mean, Arya and Caleb and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing major there that I can recall.
I think again, Caleb downplayed
Yes.
his emotional connection.
Very much so. Yes.
And Arya was like, yeah, so I thought we were being friends, but I found out I was more connected to him than I knew, and how a great guy he is, and he made me see things different. So was it Mariah? She was like, well, hold on. Do you want to leave with my man? And so she kind of very politically answered the question, which was very straightforward for Mariah. But I'm thinking like, she came here with someone that she does love. I don't think her goal is because she has an emotional connection to your boyfriend that she's planning to leave with your boyfriend.
Right.
So the question was kind of like, that's really over the top kind of question. And I think she already handled it the best way she could in trying to answer that. But I think for them, I think we just have to keep in mind that playing down emotional connection, sometimes, even as Nick said, like, if you have an emotional connection, I feel that's more stronger than having a physical connection.
That's a little more dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back in the apartments, Zaina, well, JR comes in and this kid wants to kiss Zaina. She like, yo, hold up. Did you wash them lips? Because I don't know where them lips have been. And basically, she's like, it was messed up how she found out.
Right.
And then on top of that, she just said she never thought that it would be considered an option for him.
Right.
Which I think that that's a fair statement.
It is a fair statement.
If we were doing that type of a thing, right? If rewind the tape 28 and a half years ago. If we almost 29. If this were presented to us and we did this, I don't think that I would have treated it that same way where that would be an option. Yes, you do the work of what is it like to be with another person. You do the work of what is this, how does this work, what have you. But I don't know, even though theoretically you were broken up, you know that the whole thing is after 3 weeks, y'all getting back together.
Right.
So for her, I don't think it was naive of her, but I do think that now what we see of him, it might have been a little naive.
I wouldn't say naive. I was listening to her because she was like, I thought she was saying, because I believed that I knew who you were.
Yes.
You wouldn't have gone that far.
Surprise. He ain't who you thought he was.
So with that being the case, she really didn't know what she thought she knew.
Right.
And like I was saying to you, she probably was thinking that he will have a more moral standard because
he'd been cheated on.
Because he's been cheated on. And so because he felt his ex-wife didn't have the moral standards and not to cheat, then he wouldn't put himself in a position that would make him look out to be the
I
bad
think
guy.
that's the thing that's probably the most interesting is that he knows what it's like to be cheated on.
Uh-huh.
And yes, they were broken up.
Yeah.
But he still chose to go outside of a relationship that he says he valued. They only broke up for the purpose of the show, right? Because he also says that that the second one was initiated by Sandy, and that they only kissed 2 times. This is what he's telling Zaina.
Yeah.
And they just cuddled, occasionally, right? But then he says that they caught feelings, and then he says, "I'm probably not leaving with Sandy." Now, hold up.
Like the way he was talking was throwing me.
I don't know. It's up in the air, but probably not.
It was throwing me. I was like, what? You were only with her for 3 weeks. And you said that it was the best girlfriend you ever had. And in 3 weeks, that unravels everything that you had for the last 3 years.
Them calves, girl, I'm telling you, it was them calves. Them calves made him go crazy.
I was very like, what is going on with this man? Like, for 3 weeks, for him to make the suggestion that he was willing to leave with someone, it was odd.
Yes.
To me, it was odd.
Very much odd, yes.
Now, obviously that's his experience. He said what he said, but I just found it a little odd.
Yeah.
Because he gave her a lot of high praise and, she did this, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
But when he came back, he acted like there was nothing that happened for 3 weeks, because she did end up in tears. She started to cry.
Yes.
So.
Yes. In the other apartment, Scotty and Arya, I remember Scotty basically saying, "Yo, I don't believe all that crap about it was just a friendship between Caleb and Arya." And that was Scotty Spider-Sense going off because he's like, "Yeah, I hear you, but I don't hear you."
Yeah. And, I think she handled it well. Like, well, this is what I learned. And I need something more than what you're giving.
Right.
I was a little afraid her saying her and Caleb's relationship a lot. I thought that was going to start to tick him off a little bit. But, again, however they put the filming together, it didn't seem to bother him. He sounded maybe a little bit irritated. But overall, he was really trying to get what she gained.
Yes.
For that time.
Now, on the other side, though, Caleb said that there was a couple of nights he woke up panicked because he was dreaming.
That was at the reunion.
No.
It wasn't that early on though. Was it the last episode?
It was like probably the last episode.
Okay.
He does say that he kind of woke up a few times thinking that he was naked in the bed with Arya, and then woke up and like, oh yeah, I'm with my girl.
Again, that emotional connection, right? That he
listen, if y'all want to get really, was that a soul tie?
It's possible.
Or was he having a night husband or night wife?
It's possible.
Well, that's for our Empowerment Hub conversation channel. But it definitely was like strange.
Yeah, it's possible, right? Yeah. I mean, when you're trying to navigate your emotions and subconsciously you want to be with someone else, and I feel like out of everyone, he was really managing his feelings towards, Arya.
Oh yeah.
And trying to be respectful to both women. But you can tell, and I think it's unfortunate that he didn't feel safe to be able to share that with his girlfriend.
Other things that happened basically in the last couple episodes, and then we'll jump into the reunion.
Okay.
JR said he had a bone to pick with Sandy because he felt that Sandy was downplaying their relationship. This is another part, in my opinion, where I think that the manipulation of Sandy versus the delusion of JR came into play. Because I never got the full feeling that Sandy was considering fully JR.
Correct.
I got the feeling that she was enjoying it for the moment that it was, but she was always going to go back to Nick. JR, on the other hand, always gave the impression that, hey, if this big calf girl goes with me, I'm leaving with big calf girl.
I think he was looking for validation. I feel at times when people feel abandoned or rejected, and then someone can validate them, they will always continue to want that. Even though they don't want that person anymore,
Right.
They don't want to ever think what they were feeling and what they were getting reciprocated wasn't the truth.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I think, which is, again, it's unfortunate. Who cares? You're back with your girl. So if she liked you or didn't like you while you were together, she was good to you.
Yeah.
When you're not together, who cares?
Right.
You know, what was it real or was it not real? Okay, what if she said it wasn't real? Then would you be upset and have it, but you're not with her? So again, I think it goes back to, we see everyone has baggage.
Yes.
You know, and the question is, yeah, you now have self-awareness of it, but what are you going to do to kind of really deal and unpack with what you got going on?
Yeah. One other thing that happened was Zaina and Nick had a conversation.
Yes.
And basically they're talking about JR and Sandy kissing, right? And so basically from that conversation, Nick goes back and has a conversation with Sandy.
Because Nick thought they only kissed one time, which really he wouldn't have had the information. But when they got back together, Sandy did have the opportunity to update him, right?
Right.
Because the first time they saw each other at the coffee shop, she acknowledges they kissed. After that, he just already went in a spiral. So they never got a chance to really catch up.
Right.
Right. So when they're trying to get back together, I think it would have been appropriate right then and there. Like, look, let me tell you everything before you start feeling like we can work this out.
And her response was, well, you didn't ask.
That's a no. Don't ever. Let me tell y'all, don't do that.
Why didn't you tell me? Well, you
don't
you
do
didn't
that.
ask.
I don't care if you're a woman, a man. Don't do that.
So
don't do
needless to say, Nick is ticked.
Oh, he's pissed. He was like, don't talk to me.
He's like, listen.
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
She said, and so then he was like, why wouldn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? She says, well, I was going to tell you after filming.
He said after we were engaged.
He's like, after we engaged, after we leaving together? Well, after filming. Okay.
So, yeah.
So now we get to the proposals.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting how Sandy, I don't know if all the other couples had an opportunity to meet the parents again, but Sandy gets to bring Nick back to the mom and the sister, which I would found that to be interesting.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, okay, they get to revisit it, that time together, and saying, you know, her mom and her sister was like, you are more calmer with someone else. While Nick is very high strung.
Yes.
And when you're with him, you don't
very
seem
needy sometimes.
Yeah, you don't seem to be as calm.
Yes.
So
yeah. So as far as quick rundown of the proposals, first of all, what was unique? I don't think I've seen this before in the third season. I know that in one season there was an actual switch where couples that came separately or people that came separately from different relationships did leave together. But we see JR having a conversation with Sandy.
Oh yeah.
At the venue.
Yeah.
Which was unique.
Yeah. I don't know what that was about. I don't know if they asked to see each other before because no one else met that was that we know of.
That we saw that was previously matched.
So it was like, did they choose each other? Is she deciding to show up and ask him something?
Yeah.
So that was a little different since it wasn't copied with the other couples.
Right.
We didn't know what was going on with that. And he was like, he was like, oh, okay, so you made your decision and it's not me. And then I made my decision. It's not you. And then they decide, I don't know if they wanted to give the audience closure.
Right.
You know, in that
I don't
sense.
need closure from them. I don't need closure from them.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was but anyway, I was just like, okay, whatever. But we find out that he chooses himself.
Yeah. Well, yes.
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 That's what he said.
He chose some random girl with more calves, basically.
By our understanding, he chose himself.
He chose himself, yes.
She was very upset about that.
Talking about Zaina, yes.
Zaina was very upset about that.
Yes.
But it's like it was kind of conflicting what she was saying. She was like, if he wants to be by himself or go off his I have to understand that. And I know he's not ready, but at the same time, he should ask me to marry him so then he can get himself ready. You know.
In some respects, she wanted to be married more than she wanted to be married.
Yes. And I think that
makes sense of that, okay?
Well, because we over fantasize marriage. Is marriage a wonderful thing?
Yes.
Yes. Having someone to do life with? Yes. Not feeling like you're alone? Yes. But at the same time, you have to realize that marriage makes you give up a lot. There's a lot of compromise in it. There can be a lot of loneliness in marriage. There could be a lot of just as much as happy time. It could be just as much as sad times. And so when we're saying, oh, I want to get married, I see all the blissful beauty of it. We don't get to see the movies, you know, outside of the very extreme where everybody beating up each other.
Why did I get married?
Yeah, dragging the person down the stairs.
I'm still mad about why did I get married too.
At the end?
At the end. Because homeboy should not have died in that car accident. That car accident was not worth dying over.
Well, I'm just saying.
Random thought.
With that being said, that, you know, when it's your time, if that's what you desire is to get married, it will happen.
Yes.
But you don't want to forego, oh, I want to get married over marrying the right person.
Correct. Correct. So they did not work out.
No.
Right?
No.
Nick and Sandy. They aren't together.
Do you believe he was going for a piece of paper? Because he said that he wasn't going for a ring. He was going for a piece of paper to read. I'm assuming read off. I don't believe that. I believe he was really reaching for a ring. But when she started freaking out like, whoa, no, that's when he got really disappointed. And he was listening to her.
Yeah.
Trying to hear her out. So
she chose herself.
I think she should when we find out what's going on at the reunion.
Yes.
I think she did. She made the right decision.
Yes. Yes. And admittedly, as you know, we'll talk about it from the reunion because my viewpoint of her shifted a little. I still think that there are some things that she needed to work on, what have you. But my viewpoint shifted a little, and we'll talk about that. And then as far as Caleb and Mariah.
I was a little... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was surprised. You know, they say all these heartfelt things. Beautiful, right? We always say that at the beginning. And he proposes, which I was shocked. I didn't think he was going to propose.
I wasn't from the aspect of... Because she brought him there, right?
Yes.
But I think he... I think it was kind of like, I'm going to do this because I need to kind of settle where I am because this kind of shook him as far as him being able to have an emotional connection with someone else. So it was kind of almost like, I better do this so I can lock down what I know I have because I don't know if I trust myself out there in them streets. That's just what immediately comes to mind. It could be completely off, but that's why we have these conversations because it's two different people having different thoughts.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, I get it interesting.
No, I just find it interesting with him being older. And again, he was always reflecting about this is only her second relationship. which I can understand.
Mhm.
You know, you do want to care about it, but you decided to have a relationship with her.
Yeah.
When you met her and started dating her, and she said, "Oh, you know, you would be my second relationship," you could have decided then, well, I want someone who's been in more. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing that someone hasn't been in, right? But it may not be as balanced if that person hasn't had many experience in being in relationship with other people.
Yeah.
You know, but I think he had some concerns and they really didn't really address it. It's like, or at least we didn't see it on camera.
Right.
You know, because she definitely has some things she need to be in. If she's not in counseling, that she definitely need to go to counseling for. But so that's why I was surprised.
Okay.
I'm leaving it at that.
And then Scotty and Aria,
Yes.
they're together.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised, but I was, because I knew he was going to propose, but I didn't think she was going to say yes. Because again, he really wanted to be married.
Well, she said yes, but we'll talk about the reunion.
Yeah, she did say yes. So I was like, okay, go for it.
So, long story short, we have of the 4 couples that were there, we have 2 yes, 2 no. Nobody's leaving with somebody else's person.
Correct.
All right. So that was pretty much it. They pan out from Arizona because it was in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Filmed here. So now we get to the reunion. And the reunion starts, and Arya's like, I got receipts. I'm going ahead and break it out. Arya broke out and was just like going for jugular.
On Caleb.
And
I was like, hold on. It was just emotional connection. Like, why are we... I felt it was a little over the top.
No, it wasn't a little over the top. It was a lot over the top.
Okay.
It was surprising. It was like, where did this come from?
Yeah, I'm like, why are you going after him like that? I get it.
Now, she did say that she said, according to her, that he was stalking her, watching her through social media, liking posts, profiles, stuff like that.
But he said...
He's like, I did that for everybody on the cast. He was like...
Right.
And then he was blocked, or he blocked her, and then he unblocked her. She's like, yeah, I was blocked at some point. Yeah, but you're not blocked now. But I was blocked at some point. What's up with that?
So I'm like, why are you worried about what he doing and not doing? If you're with your dude, whatever, and you're not concerned about him, then I don't feel...
Listen, that block button is a beautiful thing. Or is it, what's the unfollow button? Because you ain't got to know that I don't rock with you no more. I just unfollow you.
Right.
You see my stuff, but I don't see your stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it made more sense as we were going through the reunion.
Yes.
Why she was upset.
Because there's some other things going on with her. Long story short, I know she had a miscarriage, right?
Yeah, she had a miscarriage.
But we also find out that she said yes on Tuesday. And then like 3:00 in the morning on Wednesday, she was like, never mind, I'm good.
Yeah.
She changed her mind the next day. It wasn't like 2 weeks later, reality set in. She was like, oh wait, you mean we gotta call family? We gotta let other people know about this? She's like, I'm out.
Yeah. And I don't know what that is, to be honest. Obviously, there's something she's gonna have to figure out, right? Because when you're spending 3 years with someone and you've been in multiple relationships,
and he moved back to their area for her.
Yes, that's the other thing. Like, at first I was like, well, why are you not compromising? So you see him making these compromises. He wants to be there for this. Okay. This is free. Let me tell y'all something.
Her Cash App is going to be in the...
You cannot make anyone happy. I'm way in the back. You cannot make anyone else happy. So if that person is looking to you to make them happy, they are very misinformed. Because you could jump through hoops. You could try to do all these things. You could try to uphold something that's not within your character. And subconsciously, subconsciously you want to do things that pleases your partner. But if it's out of your full nature of who you are, you won't be able to keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
You just won't be able to keep it up.
Yeah.
And so you have to find happiness by yourself, on yourself.
Within yourself.
And within yourself. And if both people do that, then there's things that we will come together to compromise where, yes, we'll be happy together because we found that internal happiness.
But if my happiness is dependent upon you, it's failed already.
It's too much work.
That was a free one.
That was a free one. And hearing it over and over again, I just need you to do it. If you do this, if it's just not in their nature or something that they need to change to make them a better person overall, it's like, it's not going to happen.
Nope.
So you need to find somebody else that if that's how they were raised, can people, but he said he's going to change. She said she was going to change. Potentially.
Yeah, stop trying to change people.
You're not going to change them to their core.
Right. Have people, like, have we evolved? I feel like I've evolved as a person. I was good from the beginning. I was great from the beginning.
If you say so. I
was an amazing husband from the very first day.
Now, has that evolved? Yes. Mm-hmm. But I can't say that I am the epitome of what makes you fully happy.
One of the things that I think was great in our premarital was they asked us, what don't you like about each other?
Mm-hmm.
Because that let each of us know where we really stood.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, okay, if you never change that, would I be okay with you still?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in a relationship and you are saying, I need you to change this, I need you to change that, then what you're hoping for and banking on is that they will become the person that you want them to be, rather than being the person that you love, you work with, you want to be with, in spite of their flaws.
And I would applaud, in my head, I'd be applauding Scotty because he would make statements. Could I live the rest of my life with whatever Aria, right?
Yes.
Whatever it was about Aria, like, her physical touch.
Yes.
He said, could I live the rest of my life with this? I was like, yes. That's how you have to think about it.
That's how you have to approach it.
Mm-hmm. Now, should you tell your partner, hey, I would love if you would do this, but don't set your expectations that as you're telling them and they're saying they want to do that, but when they're not able to follow through, you can't keep holding them to a standard they never had.
Yes.
Now, if it gets to that point or it gets better enough where you say, well, I can accept that 30 or 40% that you're trying, you're doing great to get that.
Yeah.
But your mindset has to be, can I deal with the way they are for the rest of my life? And if you couldn't do that, then you need to break up. Don't accept. I'm a change. That's going to be better in my life. I'm not going to do that.
Trying to change people.
I'm so sorry. I wish there was better.
Soapbox over.
Okay.
Soapbox over.
It's just like,
we're about to go a long time with that little conversation because I think that's something that too often, especially, as we talk to couples and help people through their marriage, that's something that folks have got to realize.
And it doesn't matter your age. No matter. That's why some people married 4 or 5 times.
If he's 55 and he still act like he's 22, and you trying to get with a 55-year-old, he ain't changing. It's been 33 years. He's staying the same. You ain't that good enough to change him. All right.
Ain't that much calves in the world.
Ain't that much calves and other stuff in the world to change somebody who don't want to change.
Yeah.
And then so that was them. They are not together right now.
No.
They're talking about Scotty and Aria. They are not together.
No. And then that's where I go back, we'll circle back around real quick, that she was upset with Caleb. I don't know. I'm assuming she know that Caleb and Mariah was together or whatever. But I was like, so were you kind of like hoping
to throw something in there and maybe Caleb be like, Aria?
It was just weird that she was over concerned.
Mariah was like, she was okay, and then she's like, I don't know that she's like, she didn't know that she knew about the liking
Emotional
of posts and
connection.
the emotional
Yeah.
connection, what have you. I think that's the thing that for Mariah was just like, yeah, you kind of misled as far as the emotional connection and how that might still have some impact in your social media behavior, if you will, right?
And when you make a connection with someone, it is hard to break off a connection you made,
True.
right? And to me, was not Mariah not following her too? Because you can see who liking. If you really wanted to investigate, you could be seeing who else is liking the post.
True.
So, you know, I'm like, come on, y'all.
So, and then who else? So let's talk JR and Zaria. Zaria.
Yeah.
Zaina. So first of all, they were sitting on opposite couches. Right?
Yeah.
Basically, they are not together. JR was like, well, you kept wanting to be together. And even though they had moved out, what have you.
Yeah, right afterwards, they had separate places.
Because she at least was like, we're not going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But JR was like, but I'm kind of confused because we still doing this. We still doing stuff.
Right, because they were still doing stuff, and he said he needed time to process. That's what he said. And so, but they were still getting together for Thanksgiving. They did something for his birthday. And in one sense, it was like, well,
bro, you still showed up.
Why didn't you just tell her no? Like, hey.
Because here's the thing. If I'm breaking up with someone and I'm saying I need time to process, and you invite me someplace, I appreciate it, but no thank you.
Yeah.
That's real easy.
It's real easy to do.
But to say you were still checking for me and we ended up doing these things.
And they were still talking.
And we're still talking, and it's confusing, but I keep telling you I need time. If you saying you really need time, you really need time.
Take the time. You know, and I was like, I was concerned. I get processing because he said he's in counseling and he's trying to process that. So what does that? Because if I was I would ask her, so what does that mean to you? And maybe she did. Right. Maybe she did ask. I said, what does that mean? Does that mean that you need to take time and we're going to get back together and I should be waiting? Because she does kind of mention, she's like, are we dating other people or are we not dating other people?
Right.
And it sounds like she was confused if they were supposed to be free to date other people or not.
Right.
And I can see how that gets frustrating.
She wasn't trying to use her hall pass.
No.
She's like either we in class or we on recess.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Either school's out.
Yes.
Or we in school.
Yes. Exactly.
We just changing between periods.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And I think it was confusing for him. And then it sounds like he's not able to communicate that to her. Why? I don't know. I don't know what that is.
So basically, because there's other things that give me pause with him, right? The fact that we find out, no, it wasn't 2 times, it was at least 3 times.
Right. Yeah. Because she's like, hold on, 3, 4, 5. Now she's like, I don't care now. And then she says there was a thing where a girl.
A couple of days before they left to go film the Ultimatum.
Yeah.
Somebody had reached out and had provided proof that JR was trying to step out and flirt, right?
Yeah.
Then on top of that, we have a situation where what else was it? That she pulls out this what was it? The nail with the QR code. She pulls out the nail with the QR code and starts to basically say, here's the proof of all of this that went down, right? Then on top of that, we get into the situation where now JR is trying to, the whole issue of who said that JR was on a hall pass is being talked about. And so that's where she brought out the proof and was like, no, this is what I actually said. She said it was based upon a conversation that Aria was saying, not necessarily about JR in particular, but just in general, that some people feel that some people may be there for a hall pass.
Right.
So she's like, does that let Scotty off the hook? Then JR's like, well, it doesn't matter because, who said anything about me being there for a hall pass? Well, I appreciate the producers because the producers brought out the receipts.
Right.
The producers were like, here's where you said that, you know, is kind of like a hall pass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was taken out of context. The wonderful thing, now, admit it, we know in these shows, context
Is everything.
is everything.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that are taken out of context.
Mm-hmm.
Get it.
Mm-hmm.
But the words plus your behavior
Mm-hmm.
give us a little more insight into the context within your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. I'll admit, maybe he was saying something about a hall pass and it had nothing to do with him taking a hall pass.
Mm-hmm.
However, his actions combined with that tell me he was trying to get a hall pass.
Well, and he showed a lot. The production showed a lot of times he was flirting. And he was making a lot of innuendos, sexual innuendos to other women.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Where we saw Ario was a little bit uncomfortable.
Right, because he put his hand on her thigh. She's like, whoa.
Right.
Joke, I don't know you.
Right. So.
She's like, I barely touched my man. I want you touching me.
So, with that being the case, then it's like, hey, because Sandy didn't see some of that until after she was like, well, hold on. You know, I thought it was just me and you because we had this connection. No, girlfriend. He was flirting with everyone that he had interaction with that he was interested in.
He was just the one that had the calves that caught his attention for that moment.
For that moment.
And that gave him a response that he figured was an invitation. Because that explains a lot. Because it's almost as if Sandy was the one that at least gave the impression to him that she was down.
Yeah.
She at least gave the impression.
Yeah.
The others were like, bruh,
like, hold on.
Because even the one that broke out early, what was it, Chanel? Yeah. The response, the physical response that she gave when he said something or did something, Sandy was seems like the only person that at least played into it.
Yes. That's a good way to put it. That was a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So they went back and forth a lot, you know. I just feel like she came off very mad during that. Then when she was finding out on the show, you know, so I don't know if it was playing up a little bit to the cameras and that, because
it was. Now that I think about it, it was like everybody kind of wanted to have their moment.
Yes, because we talk about that couple.
Ari wanted to have their moment, her moment. Zaina wanted to have her moment when she bust out, because I did see on her Instagram or TikTok or something that she was like promoting that QR code nail. So everybody wanted to have their moment. And then Nick had his moment. But then the couple that broke out like 30 seconds into the whole thing, they came and it was like, okay, y'all want to have y'all moment. Y'all couldn't stick around for the show, but y'all want to act like y'all was an integral part of the entire show, right?
Right. It was like, because what is her name? It was Dave and what was the girl's name?
I don't know.
I forgot her name.
Girl number 4. I don't know.
So they come out because it's like, okay, can you tell me why you left? And she was like, well, because Nick showed me a side of himself that I wasn't expecting to see. And
Vanessa, that was her name.
Vanessa. And, you know, it was a little bit like he was being rude to me. We find out that Nick has an alcohol problem.
Yes.
He's an alcoholic.
Yes. So that's why I say it gave me a little different approach to Sandy. A little. There's a little, I don't want to say grace, but there's a little different approach with Sandy.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, overall, I do feel she came across that she was genuinely being Sandy. And she wasn't trying to throw Nick under the bus. You know, she didn't call him, well, you're drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could have got really rude with it. But she didn't. That she was trying to keep what was going on with Nick private.
Right.
But at the same time, we could see it was affecting her.
Right.
You know, so I'm glad she chose herself because she was with a person that was not stable.
Right.
And she was willing to even help drop him off because he was willing to get the help that he needed.
Yes.
Good for her.
Yes.
That she didn't want to be a codependent partner with this person who needs to be able to deal with, as they said it, his demons, the things that was going on in his life that got him to that point of that spiraling and over drinking.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm like, you should have told production, you know, or I don't feel comfortable based off of what he's doing.
Yeah.
I got a tickle in the back of my throat.
Okay.
and see from there, you know, how things could change or whatever.
Right. So the other couple, Micah and Chanel, I think was the name, they just like, we ain't showing up. We're
together. We're good.
And I can appreciate that, because if you bounce out, what do we need to see you at the reunion for?
There's nothing to talk about. And I made my decision.
So that was pretty much it. Only one couple right now is supposedly together.
We're getting married in 2026.
That's what they say. So we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, they said they're looking for, you know, a photographer. They're doing all the things necessary to plan a wedding, because it does take it could take a while depending on how much you're trying to spend.
Yeah.
If not, you could go down to the courthouse, get married, and do the ceremony later.
Meet me at the altar in your white dress.
So
we ain't getting no younger. We might as well do this.
Okay, go ahead, audition.
Been feeling you all the while.
So yeah, I think this was a way for us to get back in the seat, trying to get ready.
So
for Ready to Love.
Yeah. So listen, if you made it this far, first of all, appreciate you. Secondly, yes, make sure you stay connected, because we're about to jump back into this full throttle. Ready to Love is coming back. Family or Fiance is coming back.
We're gonna talk
again. We couldn't do Married at First Sight. We will never do The Bachelor. I can't sit there.
Yeah,
and
we
watch.
tried.
We tried. Can't do that. Yeah. If there's other shows that you all think might be up our alley, we'll definitely put that in the comments. Let us know. Yeah. We're always open.
We've tried a couple things.
We're not doing anything on Tubi.
Oh boy,
I don't think so. We'll see.
That's a movie. They do mostly movies, don't they?
True. But that's it. I think that's it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'll see you next time. Have a great one.
Start paying us to do some more Tubi.
That might be a membership tier. Break down Tubi movies for the members. All right. Anyway.
I can't even break down why they would even pay the money to do one. That's crazy.
All right. Tubi is Tyler Perry's illegitimate cousin. All right.
I might as well start being a writer, producer. That's the case.
You might be, shoot. All right, that's it. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed. Peace.